Let's fix that all together. Welcome to Taking No Shorts podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly.
We talking about practice. Not a game, not a game, not a game. We talking about practice.
Now I gotta talk. We all gotta be quiet. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, gift stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine riding. I'm a man. I'm 40.
And now your host, Taking No Shorts podcast, Jay Grizzy.
Yeah, let's get that out the way. Stuff happens when it's impromptu. Again, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Taking No Shorts podcast. I am your host, Jay Grizzy Green,
Exactly.
aka Mr. Leave No Meat on the Bone.
Exactly.
If you gotta say pause and you don't know what that means, I don't know what to tell you, but have it your way, like Burger King, goddammit. Also, aka the Great Grizzo,
Exactly.
aka the Great Grizzolini. Shout out to Tim Casey,
Exactly.
aka Wanda's son, Andrea's husband, and Jenny's grandson. Welcome everybody. It's a special. Let me hit. Mm, mm, mm. Special edition of Taking No Shorts podcast tonight. Just an impromptu type of situation. The way my weekend started, I had to put this out here. In the internet, in the web, social media, and all that, just to let y'all know what it's hitting for. So I'm only gonna be here for a short time, not a long time, but for a good time. And make sure you like, share, and subscribe anywhere where you find your favorite podcast. Also, great episode I shot last night with comedian Cream Moon,
Exactly.
comedianess, a comedian extraordinaire, and also a writer. She debuted a skit, and I found it extremely funny and witty. Make sure y'all hit her up on her YouTube at mz.creamoon, CREEMOO. And we shot episode 60. I want to say it was 64 last night. That's out on all live streams, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. But the audios, if you don't catch the live streams, the audios are down when you're riding in your car and your kid's not in the car. Because I say, and my guest might say some crazy shit. But, on all streaming platforms where you catch and hear your favorite podcast. So, thank you. Make sure on all those you hit the notification button so when new episodes drop, you'll get the alert to say, hey, this guy has said something different than he said last week or what everybody else said. Okay. So you're probably wondering, who am I? Not if you're wondering who am I got 64 episodes and then some back in the day. But what's this for? Okay. So I this is my personal thing. This is for my own personal channel. Um, let me sit back and relax because as you can see, the setup is way different than I almost fucking miss my spot. But it's a lot going on in the world. I said it a little bit on last night's recordings, but I just want folks to if you're paying attention, that's better yet. Why are you not paying attention? What is going on in your life that you're not paying attention to what's going on in the world or what's going on in your local neighborhood, right? Especially black folk. Like if you've been going to the grocery store lately and you see that eggs or something shit is high. Let me give an example for that. Shout out to the sheep.
Exactly.
Shit is high. So that gets your attention, right? Mm. or I saw something the other day in my algorithm. I've been seeing a lot of women complaining. I won't say complaining, but voicing their perspective on them having a hard time finding a man, but you 40 some odd years old. I'm gonna speak to that immediately
Exactly.
and call.
A bullshit? A bullshit? A bullshit.
Ain't nobody really speaking to the fact that you still out here as a Gen Xer looking for love or looking for whatever you looking for, you still out here. Those aunties, you still out here. Okay? Let's start that tonight for this live stream. And if you got a comment, hit the comments. It'll be read at Jay Grizzo at Taking No Shorts Pod on all streaming platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Ladies, and I know I'm not the expertise. I'm not a woman. I'm not a lady. I'm not. I don't know your situation. So I'm only to be fair. I wish I had a sister here to assist us getting these comments and let me know where you're coming from. But from a man's perspective, if you let's say I'm just gonna say you're a Gen Xer, right? You're a black Gen Xer, let's say, yeah, dude.
Exactly.
But and you out here, whether you do, let's say you never been married. Let's do the never been married before, right? Two or three kids or one kid, maybe no kids, because you can have a choice. We'll go into the politics later, because that dude out in Ohio talking about you can't even have a vote if you ain't got no kids, and I call that
A bullshit? A bullshit?
I
A
call
bullshit.
I call that off top, like you, man. So speaking to the ladies from a guy's perspective, married man of 20 years, three kids, done been out here, then put my shit on the crap table many a day, and then dealt with some of the grimiest of the grimiest. No, I take that back because I done heard some horror stories. So thank God I'm not. I didn't deal with none of that. Okay, but I will say this: there, as a man, men take personal responsibility for a lot, even if it's not even directed their way. I know a lot of young cats say, the younger generation say, I can't call it or I can't own something I ain't had nothing to do with. But real men know, like, you can't help everything. Some shit just happens. And when some shit just happens, you got to not find an excuse on why it didn't happen for you. You just got to make shit happen.
Exactly.
Fellas, if you understand and you dig what I'm talking about, hit me up. There's no excuses for men. All right. So, women, if you want to have an excuse and you out here in these streets dating, trying to find somebody, your mate, I'm gonna give you that quote because I don't think you. If you Betty White age, if you're a golden girl looking for a mate, you got the whole world fucked up in 2024. You did, you really do. Because that means you won't paying attention to nothing. You won't. Somebody was giving you some game, and you won't paying attention to none of it. You was just dead set on doing shit the way you wanted to do, and that's not on some submissive shit. That's not on some you do as I say shit. That's just saying you won't paying attention to the relationships and the game, the way men and women in your social cultural circle moving. You know, if you seeing hoes jumping out, if you see, I'm sorry, if you seeing women getting husbands, and you know she was out here slutting it up in the club with you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And she got a husband. And you sit there 10, 15, 20 years later saying, the game, I don't understand. The game that missed me, the game that missed me, or I done passed me by. Honey, the only thing I'm saying, is this: she saw the writing on the wall and you didn't. Now, there are some circumstances, and again, I'm only speaking from a man's perspective. I ain't speaking on no female, no woman, no lady, no X, whatever the chromosome. I'm not speaking from Nate's perspective. I can't. I don't know nothing about that. But what I do know from a man's perspective is if you don't peep game, like I peep game. I said to myself, and I said this a little bit. This was all fair last night. Episode 64 will be. It's out now on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, but on all the other streaming, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all that. That'll be out during the week. You'll hear that, but I'll give you a little preview. Right. So back in the early 2000s, when I was out here, how they say I'm outside. That was a COVID saying I'm outside. So this was before COVID. I was outside, but I saw what was coming down the pipe because
Exactly.
let's be clear, what was coming down the pipe was some debauchery, some I forgot. Shout out to the social media influencer personality. That some diabolical shit was coming down the pike, right? And I said, "Do I want? It's not that because I could get you man and or woman can get diabolical, right? They can get diabolical. It's just if you have a maturity, you got to decide whether you're going to get diabolical with folk. You dig? Like I had to say, okay, I've been doing some diabolical shit. The ladies and the women that I was with, they knew they was doing some diabolical shit because I don't want nobody to not know what they doing. I even put them on some game like, you about to do some diabolical shit, right? I'm gonna name this up. I'm gonna name this live stream diabolical. Okay, hashtag that. But yeah, like if you know you finna do and you like, yo, you know what? I don't even want to do this shit no more. It's time for me to get out of the diabolical game. And I hope, and this is where I think ladies are at. So I'm speaking to that, okay? You hope and pray you get out the diabolical game before the game catch up to you, you know? And I think the ones on the algorithm that I'm seeing, because I've seen some posts this week. This is July 27th. I done seen posts on my social media and in my algorithm talking about why I'm still out here, why I can't find a man, this, that, and the third. That's nothing in my circle. Let's be clear.
Exactly.
But this is just what I'm seeing, and I'm like, yo, if you don't know by now, you're gonna. That's a Teddy Pendergrass song. And Harold Melvin and the Blue Note song. If you don't know by now, it's no me, but if you don't know by now, you will never know. And that's breaks from a guy's point of view, from a man's point of view. There's certain you're gonna have your lot, right? There's 35%, 25. I'm gonna say breaking it. There's 33 and a third percent of women that's going to be married. If you disagree, there you go. At Taking No Shorts Pod, at Jay Grizzo, all social media platforms, and wherever you get your favorite podcast. There's 33% of women, no matter what your socio-economic background is in the USA, you're going to get married. You want a husband, the husband wants you, that's going to happen. All right. Then there's another 33 and a third that's just on the fence. They want a husband, but they want that independence. The dude wants a chick, but he don't want to hear her mouth. That's fine, and you're gonna get caught in the middle. Those are the middles. And then there's ones you could just swear they not marriage material, and they don't even know they marriage material. that they not marriage material. There's a 33 and a third, folks. I'm doing a Scott Steiner reference for all the wrestling fans out there.
Exactly.
Shout out to Scott Steiner. But you're just not gonna know. And then it, if you don't know, it's not for you. And it's okay, it's not for you. I'm not here to judge. Let your maker be your judge. I'm not here to judge. I'm just saying that's how it has come to me. I was on that first 33 and a third. I said to myself, this game is diabolical. I'm out here. I was out here, but I'm out of here. And I'm gonna jump on the first thing smoking, and I was fortunate. I got lucky. I tell my wife every time she believes me.
Exactly.
But I'm a lucky guy, man. I was lucky to have come across her, and I chose her, and she accepted me, and with warts and all, and I was just like, this is it, and I'm in the space that I am now at Taking No Shorts Pod and being Jay Grizzly. But some folks are not lucky like me. So all I could do is try to impart on some wisdom. That's what I'm doing. I'm imparting some wisdom to motherfuckers that, hey, dude, if you got a good woman that's standing and sitting in front of you and you out here taking what is the drug they get? Taking HIV cocktails. I'm not saying that, but I see the commercials. If you're out here, why do that? Take her. It's the best as it's gonna get. Not that you're settling. If you're looking for something different, there is no such thing. As a black Gen X, I'm telling you,
Exactly.
ain't no such thing. If you're looking for whoever you fell in lust or love with when you was 12 or 13, you're looking for Miss Crabtree to marry. Not that I was, but no, that's not happening. Anyway, let's get into a little bit. Oh, I'm a little crooked tonight. I hope I'm not for the audience. You know, if I am, let me know. A lot going on in the last Sunday, I think. Joe Biden said he was jumping out of the race, and not only was he jumping out, but he endorsed Kamala Harris. And on Monday, the Sunday after that was announced, I did a live stream, Taking No Shorts Pod on all streaming platforms. I said to myself, because I was like, and I talked about this last night on a live stream. It's out there. Like, yo, I know what they expect from the other side, but for the people that's supposed, I mean, if you're running for president, you would think you got people in your corner. But for folks who that you would think would be in that party's and Kamala Harris corner, they on there saying they on the social media and on the and let me get into that right now. They on social media. I don't do politics, and it's no offense to folks who do politics, but I'm speaking of folks who speak into it like they doing the devil's work. You know, I understand if folks are not political. Not everybody's gonna be political like Jay Grizzy or anybody else. So y'all can miss me with that saying not everybody think like you, not everybody's this, that, and the third. But you you have no how they say, my brother Marcus J, shout out to Mark J, ain't no half stepping and Legacy Internet Radio.
Exactly.
Bro, read the room. I mean that's the least you can do is read. Don't go along because when I hear people say when somebody tells me, I'm sorry, I'm keep hitting the tripod there, so that's probably why I'm off. But when I hear folks say Grizzy or Jay, read the room, they like, yo, turn yourself down a notch. And for somebody like me, that's hard to do because I got an ego, and I'm like, how dare you tell me how dare you tell me to take me down a notch? You got me fucked up.
We talking about practice, not a game, not a game.
You got me fucked up.
That nigga's tripping.
For real. I'm not gonna do that because you not me. So I'm not turning down, like there's a saying, turning down for what? And that's on some talking shit for real and some comedy shit. But turn down for what? To make you feel comfortable? Got me fucked up.
That nigga's tripping.
Yeah, I know Westbrook. I think most NBA players probably think like that. You got me fucked up. But with maturity, when my brother, my wife, family, people that care about me, love me, say, "Hey, yo, we all know you. We know you don't mean no harm. We know where you're coming from, but take for a moment, and just read the room. Get out of self, okay?
Exactly.
Get out of yourself and just pay attention to the people that's in your space. And just for a second, consider they might not agree with you or in congruency with you. I don't know if I made up a word or not. English majors, let me know. You know, but just take them into consideration for one moment. And the moment I did that, I was like, oh shit, I might, I might be off base. So in a setting other than it's just me, I know the audience is there, but literally, if it's just me or people that really, really, really know me, I'm not poo poo. I'm not doing all that. I'm reading the room. I'm making sure that my comments are respectful. You might not disagree, but they are respectful. Now that takes me or segues me into where we are, July 27th, 2024. Joe Biden steps down, Kamala Harris steps in. That was Sunday. Monday, I see the internet going. And my algorithm definitely is not on the other people's algorithm. I don't get that shit. When I get it, I'm like, how you get my number? How you even getting into my sphere? You know what I'm saying? Because if and I did after the Republican convention, I got they thought shit was sweet, and they were sending me shit, and I'm sorry, pronouns, friend.
Exactly.
The Republican Party, that guy was sending me solicitations like, "Oh, we knocking it out the park. We Are you with us?" And I'm like, I don't know who's telling you information, but
That nigga's tripping.
I'm not the guy. So immediately I opt out, unsubscribe. No. Somebody made a motherfucking mistake. Knowing that Joe Biden resigned probably 12 hours before and he endorsed the first non white woman. That's the best way I could say it. The non white woman to be uh, his party's presidential candidate. So immediately, what that did was, when I got their email, I pulled out my wallet, I donated, and I'm proud to say I donated, just like everybody. It's just whatever you see in the news about the money that campaign is getting, that's real. And the more shit that the opposite side is saying and poo pooing on any and everything that just don't seem is a right and wrong. It's just a right and wrong. Is how I look at that. Let me piggyback back real quick. because when the announcement was made by Joe Biden, and then he endorsed Kamala at the same time. That was Sunday afternoon, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Monday, the work week start, and I'll pull up my device, and I'm seeing people that's in my whatever the algorithm, whatever the matrix says. These are people you know, people you interact with, because I'm not accepting people in my circle that I wouldn't fuck with. That would be some
A bullshit? A bullshit? A bullshit.
yeah, it would be. It would be, baby girl. So I'm seeing people saying, I'll give it to you as real as I can. I'll give it to you as real as I can and as honest as I can for taking those shorts. Because I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. And I'm not gonna say no names, but I'm gonna call out the bullshit that I saw. Just to let y'all know what we up against. What we got to do to show out to make sure that that's the kind of thing don't win at all. All right, let me because I got to hit the do say just to get this out. Okay, so bear with me. Mm. Saw a black man on social media. He's a con. He's an ex-con, right? Meaning he was an ex-convict. Whether he was convicted by the white man's law or convicted by my law, he's a convict. And he's on the internet saying you can't vote for Kamala Harris because you can't give a black woman any kind of say. I'm just paraphrasing that. If you put two and two together and you haven't been living under a rock, you know who I is talking about, okay? Immediately, it hit a nerve. Now, I know that if it's on my algorithm, maybe they wanted to hit it. Maybe whoever the people that controls whatever he put out at the end of the day, because you got to sign consent stuff. And you got to, I'm just making sure that I'm going out, but you got to say, hey, I want you to put my shit out here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm still alive. I'm still good. Make sure you like, share, subscribe anywhere where you find your favorite podcast: YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Facebook, YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch TV. I'm sorry, but this guy was poo pooing on Kamala Harris, but it wasn't even about Kamala Harris. He was like, "You can't let no black woman be in some big decision making power." Well, the biggest decision making power I think a black woman can have is to birth your black ass. Exactly. You dummy. Because she could have aborted you. And then the other peoples want to take that whole choice away. So you just saying you don't want to fucking exist. You crooked eyed motherfucker. You just don't. Stop that, man. You doing the work for them. Under the guise, and I mean I can't call the education of you because you might have got education while you was locked up in the penitentiary, but you a convict, and convicts usually ain't that smart because you got caught. You gonna look at somebody like me and say you're a square or whatever, but you got caught. I walk the streets. I don't live like that. So your mentality is way different. And if you did that and then figured it out, you even get more salutes for brothers that's out here that did some time in the prison system and then figured out the game and say, you know what? I'm not doing that. I'm doing me, and I'm bigging up me and mine's. Salute to you guys.
Exactly.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about this cat specifically because he's shitting on sisters for clicks. The content that Jay Grizzly Green puts out is all on the strength of I want to put it out. And if you're fucking with it, you're fucking with it. If you're not, you're not. It's okay. But that's me. Maybe I don't know what I don't care what the circumstances are. Even if you got a gazillions of dollars thrown at you or put into your face, or you touching your circumstances of life have changed that you never lived before. Because that's what I think. I think he got caught. That dude caught on social media. They threw him a bag, and he ain't never touched a bag, and he just nigga lost it. he lost it. I'm not that guy. I'm not gonna lose it. I'm not gonna sell out the black woman to get paid. Period. End of story. And
Exactly.
thank you, Sheik. So that's the first thing I saw because he must be in a lot of algorithms if that's the first thing I saw. And I was just like, I'm tight. Y'all done put this nigga in front of my face talking some bullshit on some
A bullshit? A bullshit? A bullshit.
Yep, baby girl. So then I'm like, I'm scrolling. Next thing I get to is a sister, a black woman that could have been Kamala's sister, blood sister. Looked like Kamala. Looked like she could have went to Howard, Hampton, or any other HBCU. In my algorithm, telling me she's giving me her opinion. By the way, her opinion is it's a setup. She is not. She's got a Jewish husband. She's got this. She don't have kids of her own. She's a stepmother. She she was so hating so much. It was oozing out of the post. And I couldn't believe because I put out social media myself. So I know I'm conscious of what I put out there. So she created the content and then said, yeah. She in essence she doubled down on it, just like the other dude doubled down on the shit. Right? Doubled down on it. Say, yeah, I want the world to know this is what I'm standing on when it comes to this type of stuff happening in politics. And this is the second post when I'm doing one that everybody do it. I do it. I'm guilty. And I said, what? I can't find no other jokes, man. All I know is
Perfect.
no, it wasn't perfect. Y'all know, yeah, yeah. Let's get that one. Hey, hold on.
That nigga's tripping.
That's all I thought. I say, yo, man, y'all tripping. Y'all is. I'm trying to get the mic. I'm conscious of what I'm doing, and I got a blue watch on. That's crazy. But no, I'm conscious of it, and I'm like, how? So if that's what's on my algorithm in a heavy way, and I ain't seen nothing to give me something different. Not to say go against, because they look. If you're on the internet is like assholes. Even me. Everybody got one. It's an opinion. You can agree or disagree, but you got to respect that those folks have an opinion. I respect that guys have an opinion. I don't agree with it. because I can speak to the reasons why, and like I did earlier, and the same thing to the sister. But I cannot understand it. And then when I get to the area of where I can't understand it, I'm saying to myself, it ain't for the easiest thing, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't fuck with Taking No Shorts podcast or Jay Grizzy, one of the biggest things. Shout out to my uncle Junior, man. Hold on, let me get Junior some exactly.
Exactly.
Let me give some Junior some. No, Milton Green, Milton Warren Green. Rest in peace. I always say, "What's up, Unc?" He'd be like, "I can't call it." This is very poignant. He would tell me that when I was 8, 9, 10, up until I got not, had some uncommon knowledge of a lady. He would always say, "Nephew, I can't call it," and I would wonder, like, what the fuck does that mean? Until I heard him say it, then a lot of other brothers said, "I can't call it. If it ain't for me, it ain't for me. It ain't for me.
Exactly.
If it ain't for me, it ain't for me." I can't speak to. I don't know why. I don't know why folks do what they do. The moment you get into the here on me for edit purpose on the live stream, the moment you as a person, as a human, as a fallible, well, I don't know what the word is. The moment you try to get into the why motherfuckers do what they do, you in trouble. I won't say you're in trouble, but you're going down the wrong path. Everybody short of the Almighty is it can do some crazy shit and say and do some crazy shit. Ain't nobody perfect. That's what I took from you, Uncle. For real, for real. When I saw you and to see you as I got older, I'd be like, "What's up, Junior? What's up, Uncle?" I can't call it. I said, "Word." I, yeah, I can't call it. As I got older, I can't call it either. You know what I'm saying? So that's the least you could do when that announcement happened last Sunday. You could at least say, "I can't call it." But when you start saying, "I can call it," here's how I'm calling it. It's all fugazi. It's all, Hong Kong fooey. This is dating myself now, right? As a black Gen Xer. You dig?
Exactly.
It's a schmaz. You can't believe what you're seeing. You know, I grew up, and shout out to all the education and the teacher professionals that taught me facts is facts. You don't argue facts. You can't change facts. It's a fact and there's fiction. That's one thing I learned in fiction. I learned in like fifth, fourth, fifth grade English. There's fact and there's make believe. That's how I learned it. Fiction, make believe. There's shit that really happened and shit that didn't happen, that they done lied to you about. Maybe it might be sixth grade. Shout out to Adolph White, my sixth grade English teacher.
Exactly.
It was sixth grade. Fact and fiction is what I learned. I was paying attention for somebody who might have ADD. Fact and fiction. Two simple words, but fast forward maybe 25 years later, 30 years later, half the world don't know which what is what. There's fact and there's fiction. There's what has physically that there's what has happened, and there's something that you done made up in your goddamn mind. And so through the way I come up and my loved ones and my uncle taught me, Hey man, I can't call it. If I ain't see it, don't ask me to speak on it because I ain't got shit to say about it. But if I saw it, I got an opinion and I know what the truth is. Ain't but one truth. If you really here with it, if you really righteous with it, ain't but one truth. And I think where we are in the world, in my opinion, is they in the wrestling world they call it the schmaz, where you don't know who won, you don't know who lost. Somebody ran in, it's a disqualification. You throw them over the rope. It's you know they. I think somebody. I want to say a wrestling match stopped because somebody was bleeding too much and they stopped. I think that was Flair and Luger. That's a WCW reference. Great American Bash '88. Luger had Flair in a torture rack, right? The referee saw that Luger was bleeding profusely. Shout out to Gorilla Monsoon, rest in peace.
Exactly.
And called the match off. That was all. I mean, looking back now, before I was like, what the fuck are y'all doing? Calling the match off because somebody bleeding. I done seen motherfuckers bleed, no problem. But 1988, that's what I was saying. Fast forward another what 26 years later, I'm saying that's called a schmaz. They mixed it up. They threw a lot of fucking meat in a water full of sharks. And that's all that we're living in right now, ladies and gentlemen, in my opinion, using a pro wrestling reference. The internet, social media is nothing but throwing a whole bunch of shark meat or whatever in an ocean full of sharks. Your brain, your mind, the way if you not righteous, your brain and your mind and the way you think, you're a shark. So you're gonna eat up. You're gonna soak up all the shit that dummies like the sisters and brothers out here talking crazy. Like don't you can't support you can, but you can support that guy. Okay, you can support that guy knowing that a sister, I think it was Springfield. I saw it today because I was wondering last night when I was doing the podcast. Shout out to Creebo. She came through.
Exactly.
Second time, episode 64. Make sure you catch that live stream, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. And then later on this week, anywhere where you get your favorite podcast, Cree came through and she spoke to it as much as Cree could because I didn't think Cree, for somebody who said it was non-political, Cree came through and spoke on it, and so I had to jump in as well. Like, to, just, and I had to say to myself, where did this happen? Because I'm thinking it happened down south. This shit happened in a blue state, Springfield, Illinois. A cop, a police, a paddy roller. If you don't know what a paddy roller is, look that up. That's how you get. Shout out to KRS-One,
Exactly.
Christopher Parker
Exactly.
for for giving me the game or part of the game. KRS-One, ladies and gentlemen. This dude record was horrendous, but jumped off of. He came out the army, and the army put out some woo woo woo. Woo, woo, woo. I don't know. The army be saying that shit like
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
the army be putting out, the military be putting out some offer because they seen shit. The army before they bring motherfuckers into the army, they need to do a screen, like a mental screen, because they come out that shit fucked up. And I wouldn't be surprised the dude that shot the orange guy, he might have did some military shit. You got to be mentally straight to get into the army if you're going out here and going to war. Because I never done it, never been to war, never got drafted, thank God. But I would tell the recruiter when they would come to the school, like, yo, if I see a motherfucker gut, a dude's guts coming out, I ain't gonna be right. You know what I mean? I'm just letting you know if you put me in that unit and I see that, I ain't got his, especially if he not in my corner. And there's nothing wrong with cats that have exhibited that they in your corner. If they're in your corner, I don't give a fuck if they bleed red, white, blue, or whatever. If you believe a man or a woman is in your corner, it ain't for me to judge that. It ain't. You stand on that. That's called loyalty and just true humanism, is how I call it. True humanism. But if they've told me in basic training or whatever, like we don't fuck with you, people that how we said last night, Cree. People don't. If they tell me that, how I fucking supposed to go to war with that motherfucker? You got me fucked up. You got hold on. A bullshit. Yeah, you got a bullshit. No. So yeah, I'm gonna be a little touched when I come out. But this sister in Springfield, the home of Lincoln, in essence, he was born in Kentucky. But I'm a history guy, so let's be clear. He grew up and was raised. He grew up and was an adult and represented Springfield, Illinois. This sister, under whatever circumstances she was in, felt like an intruder was on her property. So niggas know me. Like I'm never. So if you think somebody is intruding on your premises and you're gonna cover yourself, the first thing you think the first thing you know you're gonna do is you're gonna call the police. If you don't call the police, you can't explain why you laid somebody out for intruding. So let's get that out the way. That's the reason why the sister, because I know how y'all sons of bitches think. And y'all are sons of bitches. Let's be clear. The other side. She called the police because she felt and thought that someone was on her premises. Whether she was under anything, doesn't matter. Your job is to show up and to investigate. If you investigate and you find that somebody was there or somebody wasn't there, let's do somebody was there. Your job is to catch them, put the cuffs on them, and throw away the key. If somebody wasn't there, ma'am, nobody was here. I think we're good, and we out. No, no. This son of a gun, son of a bitch, took it on himself. Might have been because of the news that happened early in the week, and just might have been feeling himself just a little bit too much, and had a little, you know, his trigger finger was just not too good. Shot the sister through here, back there. And Kamala spoke on it. Thank you, Kamala, for speaking on it. I'm gonna give you a round of applause. We talked about it last night because it's not about. I'm gonna tell you what I suspect it's about. Notice I gave a lot of hoops for you folks to jump through to get there. Okay, I suspect that it's about right and wrong. If you got to see, I don't have to jump through a lot of hoops to know about right and wrong. You do. You got conditions on your right and wrong. Okay? You do. I'm telling you, you do. The host of Taking Those Shorts. I didn't seen you take conditions on right and wrong. And ain't no conditions on right and wrong. Ain't none. But you figure you running the show so you can tell us what the conditions is. I ain't part of those conditions. Okay. Um how much time I got? I got 8 minutes. So story about the bomb. I wrote over the orange dictator. This motherfucker said today. I would have to pour a drink for this. This dude said today, hey, Christians, don't worry about it. Just get out and vote this election because after this one, you don't have to vote. You don't have to worry about voting. The do say will have you questioning my credibility. So I ain't even going. Matter of fact, that's a full disclosure. I'm going to just give y'all this. If somebody is telling you, don't worry about it, go out in droves now, and in 4 years, don't worry about it. I got you. The 25% in me is saying, I know what he's talking about. I mean, it's not funny. It's not funny at all. I exactly know what he so here's what I'm saying. You have to show up in November. Even if you I'm not gonna say her name, but even if you support rap rapping women who are on that bullshit. Okay, that's what I'm saying. That's how I could best way I could say it. That's just out here playing to your dumbness. You cannot you cannot afford to show up. And if you and especially it's gonna come down to a couple of states because the rest of the country got decent education systems. Okay. To where they done educated they population and say you can tell what's going on. But these swing states, they done slacked on their education budget, and it could go either way. Okay. So here's uh my my reach. I employ reaching out. Not for nothing. I don't work. I'm not a politician. I don't run for no office. Okay. I'm not in it. I'm not in it for Jay Grizzy or taking no shorts pod. I'm not in it for I got a generation of men that I raised from 35 to 23. It's for their kids. And if I'm thinking it's for their kids and their kids, you got to know that the other side is thinking it's for their kids and their kids. With passion, with fire.
Exactly.
So do you want your your grandchildren to deal with the shit we dealing with today? No. I'm not going to answer that question. I said no. And so that's why Taking Those Shorts live special July 27th is taking place. And if you do not understand or can put into work into any type of understanding of what the fuck I'm talking about, um Do you want somebody that came from you to do better or have a better world to live in than what you did? And I do. Because once you're out of here, you're out of here. Ain't no fixing that. You know, like the brothers say, I'm not even gonna say what the brothers say. I love to have the brothers come here. I got 4 minutes, so let me wrap up. Um, it is and I'll wrap this up real quick. Make sure. Oh, why you only tell me this shit was crooked? Excuse me. I can't. Before I wrap up this podcast, let me make sure the shit is right. I'm a stickler for details. I need some. I need some psych. I don't know what that's called, but if my name is on it and I'm representing for mine, I'm a stickler for details. So my shit was crooked for all of 57, 58 minutes of this stream. And for the last 2 minutes, it's straight. Okay. And I could tell by the crown at the top of my ceiling. I remember my mama say, "Ooh, y'all got spackle." Speckle or spackle? Spackle, if you don't know, is when they putting your house together, they just throwing shit up there to paint because that was what they did at the time. But shout out to my mom. I love her.
Exactly.
She is me and I'm her.
Exactly.
Thank you, mommy, and I love you. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe anywhere where you find your favorite podcast. Also, every Friday, 8:45 CPT time, we live stream on iLive stream. Taking No Shorts Pod. That's on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch TV. I hope to have more other live streaming platforms. I didn't get to everything I wanted to get to tonight, but I told my wife I would give it just an hour, and I'm going to stick to that. Okay. It's fantasy football season. One thing I learned is the pundits don't know shit. Every football season is different. I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. I'm a Sixburg Steelers fan. Shout out to Russell Wilson.
Exactly.
Shout out to Justin Fields.
Exactly.
Two great quarterbacks. Good quarterbacks. Great. I'll give Russell A because he representing Richmond, Virginia.
Exactly.
Even though he went to collegiate, that's a whole different story. I wanted to get into. I don't know. Look, I don't know how. I think I know how he got to collegiate. But if you give your kid an opportunity to go to a prestigious private school, and they can, by all means, you give it to him. So I think his dad was a lawyer. His mom was a stay-at-home mom. She might have been a stay-at-home mom, or might have been a working professional. But he had the means to go to a prestigious private school and excel. I'm not going to hate on that. That's the same way folks is hating on Kamala Harris. Don't hate because you on the opposite team.
Exactly.
If you I'm kicking my tripod. Don't hate because you're not winning. that, that's some whole shit. Win. Or have somebody say, get like me. I'm your host, Jay Grizzly Green. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe anywhere where you find your favorite podcast. Also, every Friday, 8:45 CPT time, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. You get the live stream. I'm out.
talking about practice. Not a game, not a game, not a game. We talking about practice.
Now I gotta talk. We all gotta be quiet. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kid stealing, woo, wheeling dealing, limousine riding. I'm a man. I'm 40.
And now your host, Taking No Shorts podcast, Jay Grizzy.